3 hours every single day before a single insight is generated, before a single decision is made, just assembling the raw material that analysis requires. Shopify numbers pulled, GA4 report exported, Meta Ads Manager opened in another tab, Klaviyo dashboard checked. Everything copied into a spreadsheet, formulas written, then rewritten when the columns don't match. Then the numbers still don't reconcile with last week's report. If you are really advanced, you push all this data into Claude and then wonder what you should be doing next. If this sounds like your Monday morning, I want to tell you something important. This is not a you problem. This is a structural problem that the industry built and handed to you. The current technology stack has turned you into a human middleware. You are the connection layer between platforms that were designed never to talk to each other. And you are paying for that design choice with 3 hours of your day. Let me describe a Monday morning that a lot of people in this audience have already had. You open Shopify. Revenue is down 7% week on week. That's the number, but Shopify does not tell you the why behind this data. Of course, you can use Sidekick, but besides Sidekick, you need to open GA4. You need to look that the traffic looks stable. Conversion rate is down slightly, but not enough to explain the revenue gap on its own. And then you open the Meta Ads Manager. Spend is consistent, ROS is roughly flat, so nothing is obviously broken. You open Klaviyo. Email revenue is down this week, but that campaign went out on Thursday, so the timing might just be the comparison window. It is now 11:15. You have been in 4 dashboards for over 2 hours. You have not answered the question. You have a collection of data points from systems that do not share a common time zone, a common attribution model, or a common definition of the word revenue. This is the coordination tax, the invisible cost that every fragmented data stack charges you, not in money, but in time, clarity, and momentum that you're losing. Here is the ratio that describes most e-commerce managers' working weeks. 80% of time is spent on operational execution, and 20% is left for strategic thinking, the thing that moves the needle. This ratio is backwards, and it is not because the people doing this work are not capable of strategy. It is because the tools they have been given were built for reporting, not for decision making. Every dashboard in your stack was built by a platform optimizing for its own metric. Shopify shows you Shopify data, Meta shows you metadata, GA4 shows you session data, Klaviyo shows you email data. None of them were designed to show you what is actually happening in your business. And none of them were designed to tell you what to do next. The result is a road that looks like strategy from the outside but operates like data entry from the inside. Let me make the coordination tax concrete. A mid-sized e-commerce brand typically runs 6 to 12 separate tools across its growth stack. Each of these tools was purchased to solve a specific problem, and each of them does, but in isolation. And here is what happens when you assemble them into a stack. The data does not travel between them. The insight that lives in your review platform never meets the campaign data in your ad manager. The email behavior in Klaviyo never connects in the conversion data in GA4 in a way that produces a clear picture without significant manual work. Mid-sized to large e-commerce companies are juggling on average with over 100 applications. The monthly cost of the tool stack, subscription by subscription, adds up to a number that most operators have never actually looked at in total. Not because they are not paying it, but because no single invoice shows it to them. There is a different version of this role, and it is not about working harder or hiring more analysts. The shift is architectural. When the system is assembling the data, you are not assembling the data. When the system is monitoring for anomalies, you are not watching dashboards. When the system surfaces the single most important action for today, you are able to act on it. This is the role of the strategic supervisor. You own the strategic judgment, you approve the direction, you make the call in which experiments matter. The system does the work that the system is better at, ingesting the data from multiple platforms at the same time, detecting the patterns across those platforms that no human could hold in their head at once, and then presenting a ranked, evidence-backed list of what to do next. The future is not about giving people better shovels, it is about digging the hole for them. Nexus was built as a unified intelligence layer, not another dashboard to add to the stack. It's a replacement for the architecture that created the stack problem in the first place. Every data source, Shopify, GA4, MetaAds, Klaviyo, Gorgias, Yotpo, you name it, they all connect into a single normalized schema. One source of truth that all agents read from and all insights are servicing into. The AI agents monitor continuously. When revenue drops 7% on a Monday morning, the anomaly detection agent already knows it. It has already correlated the drop across platforms. By the time you open the dashboard, the answer is waiting for you, not a list of numbers, a single recommended action. The 3 hours of data assembly become 5 minutes of review. The 80% operational becomes 80% strategic. The human middleware becomes the strategic supervisor. You are not hired to be a data pipeline. You are hired to grow a business. The fragmented stack that turned you into a human middleware was not your choice. It was the consequence of a tooling industry that sold each problem its own solution and left the integration to you. Start with the audit. See exactly what the coordination tax is costing you in money and in time. Then decide whether the infrastructure change is worth making. For most operators who run the audit, the decision is not a difficult one. The dashboards were never the job. The growth was the job. Build the system that lets you do it. Start with a free trial at omniconvert.com/nexus or find OmniConvert Nexus within the Shopify App Store. And if you want to hear more from you, subscribe and see you next time.